So this year, want to hear more from y'all as to like what you want me to talk about. I just be up here picking stuff that I find interesting, but we created a little survey that's going to be in the show notes. And if you're on my Patreon, you already got it. But I just are we doing all right? Like, how can we get our weight up? So please, if you find time, please, fill out that survey for me just so I can let's get some ideas. You feel me? Like, I'm here for y'all. All right. You forced to face it, I'm winning. Reward to patience, give reward to something. I don't know my own rap. Well, politics with pride. Anyway, how are you guys? That was me waiting for you to answer. I'm very happy to be here. My voice is a little raspy because this is the first Monday of the month. And if you know me and you're watching, you see that banner back there, which is reversed for some reason. I'm still learning how to do all this camera stuff. But the banner says Real Ones on it because of Club Real Ones. That happens every first Sunday, which kind of leads into the look is like this. Shout out y'all who fought through and came out and continue to support us. We was a little worried for a number of reasons. One, it was Grammy weekend, so it was like, I don't know if anybody coming. Mostly because the 110 to the 101 exchange, which is like 2 exits before, if you're coming from the east side, 2 exits before you get to our venue, was shut down by La Raza, which I have zero complaints about. Like, it was pretty beautiful to see the way for which the city came together to stand up for themselves and protest against some of these just gross new immigration laws. I am the father of a person in elementary school, and knowing that it's very possible that an ICE agent could show up at my child's school, it sounds bonkers to me. It's an anxiety that children shouldn't have to have. So a little frustrated. Excuse them for being a little frustrated and shutting down a freeway. I can be mildly inconvenienced in exchange for the things that they've gone through and are going through right now. So I rode by, honked with my fist up, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm with y'all, but I also know the city well enough. We had a party to throw. So it was like, all right, let me dip up Broadway, up into Chinatown to go over Grand, because Grand goes over Cesar Chavez and through downtown, down A Street, up Vermont to where I had to go. This is very LA. But that's why my voice is raspy. And today we got to talk about Elon. Now, what you might notice as you get into this episode is the fact that the quality of this video in the beginning of this is going to change as we get into the meat of this. That is because I actually recorded the episode that you are about to really get into many weeks ago with a whole introduction about what I mean by having hands and all that. Who shot John? Like, one of my parents used to say that, oh, that who shot John. But it was recorded a while back. And I thought I was going to have to scrap it because of how, fast the news is going these days. But it turned out to become much more relevant, and now we're finding a place for it. So there's going to be a quality shift. Please forgive me as far as like this is concerned. And it's also going to feel a little disjointed because I am going to jump into content right now before I explain what I mean by having hands, because that's going to happen later on. And you following me? I don't want to edit this nice part into the junky part, even though the junky part ain't that junky. It's just, you understand what I'm saying? Life happened. You feel me? How was I supposed to know LA was going to catch on fire when I recorded that episode? I ain't know LA was going to catch on fire. I ain't know we was going to have to stop what we was doing to talk about that. I ain't know. This episode's called, Do Elon Have Hands? All right, y'all, do Elon have hands? You're going to hear a longer explanation later, but ultimately, it usually people who talk a lot better know how to fight. And sometimes it's very funny when people that can talk a lot don't know how to fight. So you be like, you ain't got no hands. So you're going to hear a little bit more about that a little later. But first, look, it's like this.
But look, it's like this. But look, it's like this.
Quite a busy week, besides mid-air crashes in Chocolate City that apparently is because of DEI. DEI is clearly the new hard R. Y'all just be bouncing around. And I feel like, I wonder if they hear themselves. Actually, I think they hear themselves, which is why they're saying it, in the sense that the logic that they're putting forward is that you are either qualified or diverse. So that means there's two things that have to happen now. You have to define what diverse means. And clearly we know what they mean, because whenever a woman's in charge, a person of color is in charge, a person that's differently able is in charge or gets the job, then you say it's the diversity hire. So what you're telling me is only white men are qualified. Everyone else is diversity. In this world, in your brain, you are either qualified or a diverse hire. And I just like, what the hell kind of world you live in? What a tiny universe. Apparently, according to Trump, that's why the planes crashed. In other news, the Lakers got Luka. Now, I'm a miss AD. I ain't gonna hold you. The thing that had us all in shock, and me and Sophie and Ian up all night on SportsCenter, just farming the internet, trying to understand what the hell is happening, is that if you've ever been hit on by somebody that is extremely hot, or felt like this person is completely out of my league, and you like, I mean, I feel like I'm a catch, but like, why you, of all the people here, why you hitting on me? Like, what am I missing here? Like, why is this, I seem to be gaining so much in this. I don't understand. Am I missing something? Like, or like, is it going to turn out that you like, are you like a serial killer? Like, what's wrong? Like, there seems to be no downside for me in this. Why are you totally okay? What am I missing? That's, I think, why most of us were in shock, because we were like, Luka's the MVP. Why are y'all trading him? And then for the Lakers, we was like, we still ain't got a center. And it seemed as though we was clicking, like we was winning. Turned out Bron ain't know. Apparently AD ain't nobody know that this was happening. Bron was like, I found out what y'all found out. It's Grammy week. Shout out Ducci. Dark Skinned is back. Rhapsody won. Dark Skinned is back. And of course, K-Dot. Dark Skin is back. Speaking of which, happy Black History Month. And I have zero interest in educating. I spent too many years trying to teach y'all about Black history, when I'm like, the internet exists and there are hundreds of thousands of books written by people way smarter than me that you could go find. I think this Black History Month, I'm just going to enjoy being Black. That's what I'm going to do this month. Although we do got an episode coming out on cool people who did cool stuff, where Magpie talks about the Haitian Revolution, which is, oh yes. She taught me some things in that one too, like that I ain't know. I can't believe I even learned. I was like, dang, Magpie. Surprise to no one, DJ Academics is a weirdo. Now, I may not be speaking to the right audience for this, because I'm not sure if I'm not sure the vast majority of people that listen to this show would know who DJ Academics is. For y'all that do though, he got kicked off Twitch. Y'all see what happened? So I'm gonna try to make, when Black people say long story short, this finna be a long story. But long story short, so Ak was in his Discord. Ak is a hip hop, like, I mean, I'd say journalist with a content creator. I mean, it almost cut my mouth to say journalist. Justin Hunt, that's a journalist. Now, so he's on his Discord. Some kid pops in, 15-year-old, pops in the chat, pops in the stream. They start talking, and he asked Lil Homie if he's gotten to the yams yet. Wink, wink. And Lil Homie was like, I'm not of age, fam. Like, I know, like, I'm a kid, And then they start roasting him for not being able to get to the yams yet. And these are grown men that are like roasting this kid about like, damn, you 15, you still ain't Netflixed and chilled? Like, you still haven't done that? And he like, I'm a kid. I just don't be, so then they roasted him. Now, when we were children around his age, the big homies used to roast us about our yams access, like on a porch at the park, whatever. They would roast us. And I'm saying this to say, this was bad. They shouldn't have talked to us like that. That was like, we didn't know no better. It's probably why a lot of us had to get a better sexual ethic once we got older. Like, a lot of us didn't learn what was appropriate or not appropriate until we were older. And we by that time, we had done so much damage, which was partially because they didn't know no better. So they was putting this thing on us that this is the problem. So one would think once you get our age that you like, oh, I ain't finna do the little homie the way I was done because of how it damaged us. This man doing it on the internet with thousands of people watching. So they teasing him, whatever, like you would tease a little homie. And little homie stood his ground, like, I don't think you should be talking to me like that. So then the person that this little homie mods for jumps on. Before he does that, Ack was like, yo, if we hired you some women of the night, would you be willing to what if it was the guy that you mod for, his sister? Would you get you a taste of the yams, And then he was like, well, would you offer oral to the person you mod for? And Lil Homie was like, I really feel like you shouldn't talk to me like this. I'm 15. So then the guy that he mods for jumps in and is just like, my nigga, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you talking to this child like this? And then he jumps on his platform and he's like, listen, man, all the little YNs, you know what I'm saying? All the little homies that follow me, like, don't let no grown men talk to you like this. That's absurd. Twitch kicked him off. They was like, you whole groomer head ass. Now, I'm going to get a little specific on that. I buck against calling every inappropriate situation grooming for this reason. I come from an area where the term grooming came from. And grooming is something very specific. And I feel like when you stretch the term to too many things, the specificity of how heinous and evil grooming actually is gets diluted. It stretches the definition too far, to which I can't identify this actual criminal in this. Academics is nasty. I don't think he was talking to this little dude like this for the purpose of having sex with him later. That's what I'm saying. That's the grooming thing. Or setting him up to be exploited later. That's grooming. He crossed every possible line. He needed to get kicked off. And like I said, Ack is a weirdo. Let's talk about Elon Musk.
But look, it's like this.
So the episode you're about to hear is about his stance on immigration, on the specific type of immigration, which is called highly skilled, right? A certain type of visa that Elon stood on business about. The question that is central to this is, when you have two alphas, and I'm using the term alpha because it's just, we've accepted that this is what we're talking about. Now, granted, the science behind alpha and beta, all that stuff has been completely debunked. Thing about the wolves is just not true, right? Even the guy that wrote it was like, I was wrong. When the person that wrote the thing comes out and says, yo, I was wrong about that, maybe y'all should listen instead of building your whole platforms on it. When you have two big personalities like that, at some point, somebody is going to become a subordinate. Like, somebody is going to be subjective. I think a good example for an old head would be like, Jay-Z and Kanye. Like, those are really big personalities. And not that they had a falling out per se, but those two sizes of personalities just couldn't exist in the same. It's against the laws of physics. They just could not exist together. Now, in politics, my thought was Donald Trump and Steve Bannon. I think why Steve Bannon didn't stay as long as he was is because he's too ambitious. You can't be that ambitious in Trump's orb. He has to be the top G. I'm using these terms even though I throw up a little in my mouth. But that's his steez. He has to be the top G. Like, that's how he moves. So with somebody like Elon, who honestly, as far as business is concerned, as far as this late stage capitalism, let's be real. That man is tap dancing circles around Donald Trump as far as business is concerned. And I know Trump don't like that. What he do like is being around and having people up under him that make moves. The question is, who was going to back off first? That was always my question. Now, I think Trump can't have no big dog in his orb like that. And it's just a matter of time. But I keep being surprised as to how effective, if you will, Elon is maneuvering. How effective his inception has been over these years. Now, the example, like I said, you're about to hear is the H-1B visa. But since that happened, so many other things happened. One of which was the Nazi thing that was clearly a Nazi thing that I feel like if I was autistic, I would be super offended that you trying to blame that on that man's autism. Like, I would be like, oh, wait, time out. You know, and far be it for me to speak to the autistic population, but every autistic person, the person that roasts our beans is autistic. And when I tell you that when he's into something, I tell you what, I told him this. That's why he's such a good roaster, is because the boy just gets minutia. There's a minutia that I don't have the patience for, that his brain is perfectly dialed into. So so to me, I'm like, it's not that man would not know a Nazi salute when he's seen it. It would be that man would know 17 different versions of it and how it has evolved over time. But I think at the end of the day, like, he's kind of a troll. So like there's the troll element of it. But to troll with a Nazi salute is something ain't right, y'all. But I'm here to talk about some new things that happened. This has happened since I've recorded the last episode, which I keep coming back to because apparently it's that's important to me. In Trump's overwhelming desire to make sure that there is only white men that run his situation, sprinkle with a few blonde girls, in his desire to make sure that we in no means even look in areas that are diverse for expertise, to make sure that I'm not giving no money to no programs that could possibly, maybe a little bit smell like, or that it has any sort of just odor of something that goes against the things that I stand for. I'm going to stop it all and I'm going to defund it. And to his credit, now I need you to hear me, to his credit, because this is something that I've said about that man a few times. When he say he gonna do something, he don't be joking about it. And that's the weird part. Like, okay, I'm gonna go back to Kanye again. When he said, Kanye say, I'm a god. And they say, what? Who do you think you are? Kanye say, I just told you, a god. Trump say, I'm gonna fire all these federal employees because they don't be rocking with my agenda. And y'all was like, bah, they work for the government. He's not gonna fire federal employees because you need employees. You can't these are jobs that aren't politicized. These are jobs where you just work for it. And he's like, prosecuted me. Oh, he's just messing around. He's like, I just told y'all that's what I was gonna do. I don't understand what y'all don't understand. The stupid little clip I posted, well, not I posted, but the Cool Zone team posted about taking Trump serious for the last episode. I was like, y'all need to take this man serious. When this man said, I'm gonna figure out how to run a third term, and y'all all going, it's against the Constitution. Like, I'm like, I don't understand. This is my point. And they was dragging me in the comments. Y'all keep saying, he's not going to do that. He can't do that. What are you talking about? You don't understand. You can't do it. I'm like, did you hear what I was just saying to y'all? How many times have you said he can't do that, or he won't do that, or he not going to do that, and then he do it? And then the thing is, I keep looking at y'all saying, he said he was going to do that. What? I'm so confused as to what is confusing you. This is what he said he was going to do. So I, for one, take that man serious. Now, I am not destroyed by him, but that's partially because I'm not waiting for ICE agents to knock down my door. So when President Trump decided he was going to fire all these federal employees, they were offered a resign now to be paid through September. And it stunned all the workers that received it. They were like, so you're going to fire me, but if I just quit, you'll give me 7 months pay? So some of them were like, you could stay on for 7 months if you promise to quit. And they're like, what? I'm fired and I'm not fired? What? So you firing me, but you want me to stay on? So you want me to train my replacement? But if I quit, you going to give me 7 months pay? Are you really going to give me 7 months pay? The reason why you could ask that question is because don't that sound like the Twitter takeover? Is that not exactly what happened to Twitter? Well, if you quit, I'll pay you through your time to make sure we get set up. Now, let me ask you this. Were they paid? Them people wasn't paid, which leads me to this question. Whose idea was that? Do Elon got hands? Is Elon more effective than I'm giving this man credit for? Is Trump just taking Elon's ideas and putting his name on it, but all of us can clearly see that this was Elon's idea? Or is this just Elon running the Doge? Now, I did read in the Doge program that Elon was going to get rid of pennies, and honestly, no notes. I mean, what are we going to do with pennies? I mean, they cost more to make than they're worth. So, I mean, I feel you. But how this man is able to wield his will on a person who seems to me like don't listen to nobody, I'm kind of impressed. Elon got hands. Now, believe it or not, the FBI has a Reddit. I don't know why that's so funny to me, but the FBI got a Reddit. Now, on the FBI Reddit, they were talking about ways for which to disguise your identity if you was going to start snitching and leaking things about this transition, right? Now, what the Doge team is doing is something that was reported by, okay, forgive me, the Daily Beast. But they're reporting on this. Elon Musk is threatening to fire the employees who leak information as President Donald Trump unleash an unprecedented chaos in government. Now, clearly the term unprecedented chaos is a bit biased. It's a bit inflammatory. It's also what's happening. On Sunday, a user posted on an anonymous operational security reminder on Reddit's FBI forum with the advice for sharing information that can't be traced back to the source. The post claimed that Musk staffers are using fingerprinting on emails and notices as a way of identifying information leakers. Now, this is essentially an email watermark, like adding a space here or making a typo there, or similar subtle changes to track leaks, right, on a post read. So what that means is, like, a good way to know that I'm texting you is an arbitrary capital word. I don't know why I do that. I just do a ridiculous amount of spelling typos, because a lot of times I'm I'm thinking faster than I'm typing. So like I'll send the thing and then I'll realize this wasn't clear. Then I'll send something else. So it's so disjointed. Sophie and them make fun of me all the time. Every show description, Ian rewrites. I apologize to Miss Cronin, to Mr. Palicki, Mr. Jeffrey. These were my English teachers. They all said the same thing about me. This boy is so smart. If he would just slow down. So they would know exactly who I was if I tried to email somebody about this. So Elon went ahead and X'd with regards to the leakers. If in doubt, they are out, right? Meaning if I think maybe you was the one leaking this, we just firing you. But it's like, fam, I'm finna get fired anyway. All I'm saying is Elon got hands. I think I've answered the question of the show. Do Elon got hands? And turns out the boy got hands. I knew he had finesse. I didn't think he had hands. All right, now let's watch the other episode. Or the rest of this one. What's up, all you little sucker MCs? Propaganda here. Welcome to 2025 edition of Hood Politics with Pride. Man, 2024, like, 2024 had hands. Ain't no other way around it. There was a meme that came by my my social media that I was like, yeah, this is the one. There's a little, like, rudimentary, like, late 90s computer drawing of a guy about to box. He was like, all right, I'm about to fight these thoughts. And then on the bottom, it's got him sitting down in the corner of a ring, drinking his water, saying, damn, brain got hands. Now, I don't know how many of y'all that deeply resonates with, where you like, I was going to fight all these negative thoughts and going to think positive, but your brain was like, no. Hey, your whole life is trash and you never go amount to anything. I don't know if your brain be telling you that. Your brain got hands. 2024, 2024 was like, what started off as so glorious. You know, by this point, you have heard the full edition of the State of the Blackness. And even in the State of the Blackness, of all the great things of that happened, also 2024 had hands. I mean, I ain't even mention how horribly off key Alicia Keys sang at the Super Bowl. Like, had hands. The question is, do you know what I mean by have hands? Now, I feel like by this context, you should already know what that means is like they punch hard. They fight well. Some people like fighting, like enjoy the adrenaline of, like, not in the angrily sense, but just in the contact, the testosterone of it all. They enjoy contact sports, like fighting. And a lot of times, those are the people that get into, you know, boxing or UFC or kickboxing. Like one of my cousins, I don't know if I could call him a first cousin. Is he a second cousin? He's my grandmother's he's my dad's cousin's child. But also, our grandparents, follow me, are related. Like, our grandfathers are brothers, but our grandmothers are sisters. So, like, two sisters married two brothers. And then so he's like a double cousin. I don't know what you call that. Like, he like fighting. Like, he in kickboxing, like he likes it. The homie D Smoke. Like, they like it. And he's good at it. Like, he's good. I don't like it. Now, I have all the testosterone that one would expect from a cisgendered heterosexual boy from the east side, you know, east of the river, Los Angeles. Like, I got all that. But I don't like Merce. Like, Merce likes it. Probably not anymore. But either way, for me, I'm like, I don't like it. I didn't like it then, I don't like it now. Now, that don't mean I can't fight. Somebody that can't fight, somebody that just the technique is all off. You gonna get mopped because you're not like, you just don't know how to fight. That person don't have no hands. Another way to say it is like, even when they punch you, it don't hurt. Like just you ain't got hands. Like you don't. And usually the advice for somebody that don't got hands is they should shut their mouth. Right? Like, unfortunately, it's a lot of people that talk a lot that ain't got hands. Right? Like, and when you understand, at least if you came up the way I came up, like my daddy would say, like old folks say, you writing a check with your mouth that your butt can't cash. So basically it's like, my dude, you talking like you know how to fight. You can't, you better be able to, like, damn, like back up we better be able to back it up. So you talking like, you have to have hands. That's just a short way to say this. Like, do we got hands? Like, oh, that's just ain't got hands. Sometimes you find out the hard way if somebody got hands or not. I found out my wife referred to her by her prefix, Dr. Almazer Petty got hands, because this is me confessing about my spousal abuse. I am just kidding. Please, guys, I'm just kidding. But she got hands. It's not, it was from us like messing around and, just playfully, like, she got hands. I was like, oh, I better not ever actually make her mad, because we was smiling the whole time. But the question that makes this something that we could talk about on Hood Politics is, now wait a minute, does Elon Musk have hands? So look, this big old smile on my face. Talk about, because I think Elon got hands. Now, can Elon fight? It depends on the type of fight we talk about. What I'm talking about is something obviously having to do with politics. And as you know, the premise of this show is, if you understand inner city living, you understand politics. You get the way that the interactions between how politicians communicate to us, the way they communicate to each other, the tools for which you use to broker power. This is just a refresher course for anybody who just coming into season 4. If you've survived the lives, the environments that I and a lot of my friends and cohorts have survived, then you understand politics more than you think. When a person gets in power, because of the way that our governmental system turns out to be set up, because as y'all know, with the system of checks and balances and the 3 branches of government, it wasn't, on paper, ain't supposed to work this way. But we got a strongman government. And with the electric boogaloo of Trump, it means that it's getting even more strongman. Because as we know, Trump's main thing is loyalty. Trump needs to be the top G. Trump got to be nobody, he need to have the biggest shine, the biggest power, the most TV, but I need all my little homies to be able to not just handle my light work, but you need to be able to be as flashy, as strong, as dope as I am, but also loyal to the top G. Like, I need to know that, like, you need to shine, but not outshine me. But if you're a boss, you got to surround yourself with people that are boss-like, right? But not too boss-like. Because if you're too boss-like, then it's trouble in paradise. Now, a lot of us who've been watching this bromance between Elon Musk and Trump were predicting the inevitable power struggle. And the question that was coming up in my mind is, do Elon got hands? Like, or is Trump gonna do what he always does when somebody get a little too much juice? You gone. I'm gonna get you out the orb. I felt like that was the question that was eventually about to hit us all. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, whether MAGA wants to believe it or not, a tech bro billionaire is a strange bedfellow. It's a strange bedfellow, even stranger than our history of oil tycoons being your bedfellow. That's a weird crew to be in because at some point your loyalties are going to split because money likes money. Now, I feel like you don't need to be from the streets to know that. There's an inevitable, which, I mean, is y'all paying attention, especially with old Luigi, an inevitable class consciousness that is going to, again, this is just my antennas. It's going to be, in my mind, the story of 2025 is a class consciousness for two reasons. One, because it's what Trump is counting on. I mean, he's a nativist, I'm not going to use too many of them big old words because I need to get to the point I'm trying to get to, which is the question is, it turns out, or not the question, the answer, that turns out Elon got hands. But, with the nativist populace, America first, taking care of the little guy type beat that Trump ran on, while at the same time, right in your face, having multiple billionaires right next to you. And the thing about these billionaires that are right next to you, they mask off about it. They like, no, we rich. We just be using our money to help y'all. And while full well knowing they not doing it. Like, that's the craziness of it all. The question only for me was, where is the rift going to start? Where is this power struggle really going to be? Because at the end of the day, in my mind, I'm like, billionaire's going billionaire, right? And Trump gets to the money. And remember, like, even if you was convincing these lower educational, not as a diss, I'm just saying as a factual point, but lower SES Americans that Trump is your guy, by saying I'm going to stop immigration, I'm going to stop, these foreign workers taking your jobs, I'm going to stop this invasion at the border, right? And like, with that at the helm, where is the beef going to show up? Where is the power struggle going to happen? I thought at some point it was probably going to be over popularity. And that's one way that Trump is being trolled right now by them fools calling Elon President Elon, right? So I thought that I was like, oh, there's the crack right there. And this was going to get Elon ejected. But you know why I thought that is because I thought Elon ain't have hands. I thought, to me, Elon in here about his money. And the reason why he lined up with Trump, like, this was just, for him, I'm thinking, I get what he doing. This shit is pragmatic. Like, I'm gonna align with this big dog to get what I need for what I'm doing, to work with my own program. That's how it made sense to me. He know he can't be president. He's not born here. The rift would happen over there, over his like popularity. Turns out it was over immigration. And it turns out Elon got hands. Let me talk about it next. All right, so what I'm talking about is H-1B visas. Now, there's multiple types of visas if you're coming into this country, if you're immigrating legally into this country, right? You have certain types of visas. There's an H-1 and an H-2. Elon got on his platform that he purchased, right, with this banger of the quote. The reason I'm in America, along with many other critical people who built SpaceX, Tesla, and hundreds of others that made America strong, is because of H-1B. Take a big step back and fuck yourself in the face. What a weird way to say that. Anyway, I will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend. What the hell is he talking about? H-1B is a type of visa that one gets for what they call highly skilled workers. Now, I'm gonna read some stuff here for y'all for you to know exactly what I mean by that. So, an H-1B is a category of a temporary work authorized category which authorizes the employment of professionals who will work in a specialty occupation position. And the H-1B eligibility requires an offer of employment from a U.S. employer in a specialty occupation. Right now, the USCIS defines specialty occupation as a position which requires a theoretical and practical application of specialized knowledge, right? And required at minimum to have a bachelor's degree in the specialty for entry of profession. Right now, there's only a number of these available for in a fiscal year. Now, the way to get those, because there's only a limited number of them, is a lottery. Believe it or not, pick a name out of hat. Hopefully, you get the thing. And since there's like I said, there's a lottery. Since there's only a limited number. Okay, if the named foreign national on an H-1B petition has ever held an H-1B status, right, within the last 6 years, then the position is subject to like the H-1B cap, right? Now, a total of 85,000 cap subject H-1Bs are available per government fiscal year. The cap-related H-1Bs are allocated like this. There's 57,000 available, all qualifying beneficiaries. There's 27,000 available to graduates holding U.S. master's degrees or higher, meaning you're from another country, you came here for school, got a master's degree, now you want to work here, but remember you don't live here. So right now you was on a student visa, and then after that, you got to switch to a work visa. Now that you got a master's degree, you should be able to stay here and work in the country that you've been going to school in, right? But you can only stay for a certain amount of time. And then, which is so weird, there's 8,000 available for nationals of Singapore and Chile. There's just throw them countries in. Right? Now, although the law does not specifically say what it considers to be specialty occupations, again, they're defined as specialized knowledge that takes a bachelor's degree or higher. You know, when you call into an IT thing, and it's a trope now, and the person on the phone has a thick Indian accent. That's an H-1B visa. If you work for an American company, a lot of times the company has a footprint here, but they're allowed to hire foreign skilled workers based on this visa to work for this company. Now, Elon is saying, I don't care what the hell you ran on. American jobs, factory workers, I don't care about none of that. I don't care what JD Vance said. I don't care about none of that. Fuck yourself in the face. I don't care about Billy Bob and little baby Billy. I don't care about none of them in your little heartland of America. I ain't even from America. Listen, I need people that can do this job, and this is why I'm here. I came to America to get to the yams, fam. And I'm going to get the people I need to get. You know why? Because I get to the bread. Vivek with the same thing. I don't care what you ran on. So now Trump in this position because the other side of his crew, because he want to keep the billionaires because they keep the bread coming in. The billionaires is like, I don't care about your immigration shit. Do you know what an H-2 one is? A H-2 visa is? That's to be able to work in agriculture. So right now, currently, at this very moment, according to the New York Times, Trump is offering over 1,000 H-2 visas for his vineyard, for the Trump wine vineyard, $15 an hour. But he running on, I'm here for the locals. So you got people like Stephen Miller and Steve Bannon who've been trying to say this for years, that H-1B is a scam. He's like, look, you not hiring Americans. And the people you bringing in, you can pay them far less. So what's happening is the same stuff that we say about Margaret farm workers is the same thing they saying is happening in the tech world, in Silicon Valley. I could hire these foreign workers because I ain't got to pay them as much. They can't leave the city because you only allowed to be where this particular, they can't go nowhere. These people that come work for you on an H-1B visa, they can't apply nowhere else because they would lose their visa. You got to be here. You got to work for their company. And I got you for 3 years. And you probably more skilled than everybody else in here. And I could pay you less. And you don't necessarily got to live here. So I ain't even got to pay you an American living wage. Steve Bannon is like, fam, I thought we was here for us. I thought we was, what is we doing? So this mean you got the MAGA wing that's like, my G. I thought we was building a wall. What happened to the wall? I thought we was about American jobs. Which I hope you hear the subtext, which is like, oh, I mean, y'all could turn a wrench. I don't mind you turning a wrench, but you can't work in management. Y'all cost too much. But I'll definitely hire these foreign workers. I ain't got to pay them as much. And they kind of know what they doing. See, the ill thing about, I mean, you say what you will. There's two types of racists to me. There's the pragmatic racist, and then there's the principled racist. That principled racist was how Oregon, when it was a whites only state, didn't allow slavery. They said we want to be a free state. We don't allow slavery in our state. But they said that because they just didn't even want to live next to black people. And then there's the pragmatic ones. That's like, well, we here for the bread. I don't care if you from a trash country, if you can do the job. Like, I really don't. I mean, if you making me money, I'll pay you whatever you need to pay, because I'm here for the bread. I ain't gotta like you. I ain't even gotta look at you. I'm here for the bread. So it creates this, again, this class consciousness I'm talking about. I'm like, all right, are you going, what's up? Like, so we gonna do this billionaire thing? Because if we do the billionaire thing, guess what? Nothing changes. You voted, you ran for Trump, nothing changed. Because he's still gonna get foreign workers. I thought you was running like nothing gonna change. You run the billionaire gambit. If he don't run the billionaire gambit and he do the nativist thing, he lose the bread. Because the billionaires had the most power. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? There's trouble in paradise. Now, will they be able to solve H-1B and this legal immigration visa situation in any time soon? No, they've been talking about it since the freaking Bush administration. You're not finna figure this out. Some of you may push back and say he wasn't arguing about legal immigration. He was arguing about illegal immigration. Well, you know, asylum seekers are legal immigration also. So, a lot more going on there. Now, the pushback to H-1B is, as can even hear Steve Bannon say, which is like, you're discriminating against U.S. citizens. As a matter of fact, Facebook had to settle a lawsuit where Facebook settled a claim. I'm reading this from immigrationhistory.org. They had to settle in 2021. They had to settle a claim with the Department of Justice that they discriminated against U.S. workers in favor of temporary visa holders, and the company paid $4.75 million in civil penalty and set aside $9.5 million for eligible victims. Another one of the pushbacks is, like the slave wages things. It's like, you can't if you're here on one of them visas, you can't go nowhere. You can't move, right? And I don't have to pay you American level wages. You just happy to be in the building. So Trump, who has been telling us for the last 8 years that immigration is the problem, Elon jump up and say, hold up, but I like this type of immigration. Do we got hands? Turns out absolutely. Because what Trump said was, and I quote, I've always liked the H-1 program. I love those visas. I've used them, which is not necessarily true. He didn't always love it. He used to say he was going to end it and then turned his tail in 2019. Because at first he tried to stop it. But then later he was like, look, dude, if you're a foreign citizen and you graduate from a U.S. university, you should immediately get a green card. That's one thing Trump say now. So he, at this point, I mean, he on the billionaire side. Now, the question to me is like, who, do that surprise you? Who, 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 who didn't expect this man to go where the bread is? I know I did. I expected him to go where the bread is. But the question is, when worst come to worst, do his people come first? Which asked by the great prophets, Havoc and Prodigy of Mobb Deep, do your people come first? I mean, you've been saying that for a year and a half. It sound like the bread come first, and it sound like Elon got hands. Now, is this just a silly little skirmish, a little food fight among, restlessness within the house? Maybe. What's crazy though, which is really blowing my mind, is Trump has made the statement that like, oh, he not changing the H-1 visas. And nobody mad at Trump. They mad at Elon. This man got a death grip. Nobody blaming Trump for that. They are mad at Elon like, Elon, why'd you tell him that? Bro. So everybody mad at Elon for saying the obvious, even though Trump the only one that can press play, but y'all not mad at Trump, y'all mad at Elon. Now, the last point I'll make in this is that Elon ain't in the Congress. So no matter what any of them are talking about, any policy, it's got to get through the Congress. Now, obviously, Trump is in a situation where, his team is up. So it's very possible that the things for which he might desire to pull off, it becomes that much more easier. However, what I have found is no matter who's in charge, when you start messing up the money, it seems as though nothing really changes that. And then also, my second last thing is this may not be the only little tiff that Elon and Trump have. Who knows? Or maybe they're absolutely in love. Who knows? What we know is we can't really predict much right now. I mean, the nigga's not even president yet. Like, let's remember that he's not even there yet. Well, actually, by the time this comes out, he is. The point I'm saying is it's only like day 2. So prediction as to like how this stuff's gonna go later is silly. But at the end of the day, but I tell you this, if you ain't figure it out in this situation, you should have known when that man bought Twitter. Elon got hands. He gon' do what he gon' do. I just wonder where this fight gonna go. I just wonder how long this gonna take. How, if he gonna continue to, throw hands. What y'all think? What y'all think? Anyway, just for a little bit of history and, your education, the H-2. So the H-2 visas, you could go to like immigranthistory.org. So H-2, that's the one where migrant farm workers come from, right? So the H-2 visa program was built on a World War II era arrangements that was established by, I don't know if you knew this, the War Food Administration. Did you know that was a thing? That brought guest workers from the Bahamas, Jamaica, Barbados, and other Caribbean islands to labor under contracts similar to those established by the U.S.-Mexico Vaquero program, Vaquero. Through the 1940s, thousands of Caribbean guest workers, did you know this, landed on the East Coast farms from Florida to the Northeast. The 1952 Immigration and Nationality Act provided the statutory language to make these arrangements permanent with non-immigrant visa categories. So it's a work visa, right? Unlike previous government-to-government labor programs, the H-2 visa program allowed U.S. employers to recruit workers, follow me, directly from any country once the Attorney General accepted petitions, which gave employers direct control over their guest workers' visas. Yo, I need you to understand, while you mad at immigrants, your government set up the system. This is just what happened. At the end of the day, like I said, turns out Elon got hands. So while I was thinking that at some point Elon was going to feel a little too froggy and Trump was going to throw hands at him, turns out Elon said, hold up, homie, hold up. You ain't going to mess with my meal. You ain't finna get in between my meal, homie. Keep in mind, the onlyest reason I got behind you was so that my meal stay right. And I got hands, homie. Hood politics. All right, now don't you hit stop on this pod. You better listen to these credits. I need you to finish this thing so I can get the download numbers, okay? So don't stop it yet. But listen, this was recorded in East Los Boyle Heights by your boy Propaganda. Tap in with me at prophiphop.com. If you're into cold brew coffee, we got Terraform Cold Brew. You can go there.com and use promo code HOOD, get 20% off, get yourself some coffee. This was mixed, edited, and mastered by your boy Matt Osowski, killing the beat softly. Check out his website, mattosowski.com. I'm going to spell it for you because I know. mattosowski.com, mattosowski.com. He got more music and stuff like that on there, so go and check out the heat. Hood Politics is a member of Cool Zone Media, executive produced by Sophie Lichterman, part of the iHeartMedia Podcast Network. Your theme music and scoring is also by the one and only Matt Osowski, still killing the beat softly. So listen, don't let nobody lie to you. If you understand urban living, you understand politics. These people is not smarter than you. We'll see y'all next week.